I'm just gonna quickly switch back and see if, okay, current bit rate. Great. I think it should be starting now. Just give it 1 second. Cool, awesome. So the stream has started. Hey everyone. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm here with a couple members from the team and also D-Dots. I'm going to see if I can pin him. Replace pin, yeah. D-Dots, hello, say hello. And also joining, replace pin Edward. And then Plafina and Pooh, other members of the team. Yeah, really excited to have you guys join us. I think like today's stream, we want to focus on 3 different topics. First, just giving like how far we've come in the in terms of the game, but also ecosystem projects through grants and NCIPs, and how the community is growing by people joining in and contributing their projects and their time to Nine Chronicles. But something that we did want to really focus on today was history of NFTs, and how NFTs, like what are our directions? And we've had many questions about how NFTs work inside a fully decentralized game. Are they any different? And how does Nine Chronicle fit in to this history of NFTs and all these crazy investments that's been happening? What are our plans and how do we relate to it? And then thirdly, we want to end by 2021 roadmap, where we introduce the things that we want to get out this quarter, by the first half of this year, and we have some incredible stuff waiting. So yeah, really looking forward to getting started. Finally, we're going to, but always, start with a giveaway. Here in our Discord, we have giveaways channel, and you can click both events to start joining them, and then one of the lucky winners will get 1 out of 80 legendary Valkyrie costumes. I think costumes are being traded around 10,000 to 20,000 NCGs on the market right now. But also, yeah, we're going to figure out 5 lucky winners for 500 NCGs apiece. Yeah, really excited. So click the link and join the giveaway. We're eager to get started. Yeah, I see. So I have a YouTube channel on the right-hand side. So feel free to ask questions or comment right away, and I'll try to answer from there as well. Cool. So let me just move. But here. Yeah, first of all, I want to do a quick game update recap of how far we've come and types of products that we've been building in the past few months. So first, like we emphasize this on every stream. Like Nine Chronicles is a fully decentralized MMO powered by the community. Like we want it to be owned by players on a serverless setting where your miners, your nodes are running this distributed world, and we want it to be fully open sourced and moddable by the community. So it's all important because we want it to be some sort of a perpetual game where the game is never shut down by shut down even by us. It's always running, and it offers new tokenized opportunity for people who want to play, people who want to develop, people who want to invest. And we have like really cool plans for this in this specific quarter as well. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later today. But first of all, like we've had several updates come out since March. We've had probably 1 update every month. No, not every month, every week or so. And these hit a lot of different improvements about the game. But something that we did want to stress out was, this is the old market interface. It looks, yeah, I mean, it's pretty, but it looks pretty quaint. And I think we've listened to all your feedbacks coming from the suggestion channel and some of the most amount of feedbacks were around market interface. Like it's really hard to buy things. It's really hard to search for things. It's hard to buy multiple items. Like they disappear and I have to move pages all around. So we did a full overhaul around the market, and this is what it looks like now. So when you enter, you can you can search by the item type as well. But you can also just type the item that you want. So for example, like maybe I want to enter the fire elemental dungeon, so you can search for fire items and then just buy them, quickly sort through them, and it's an incredible it's much better UX in terms of how you want to find and purchase items. You can also choose a different item. You can rank them by the level of CP. So on the left hand side you have different categories like CPs, the price and the classes of the item, so you can sort through that and sort through different types of items. But also kind of cool, like this is the most favorite feature of mine, is you can search for an item. And let's say, like I want to buy a bunch of omelets. Then you can open up what's it called? Yeah, basket purchase. You can open up a basket, and then you can buy a bunch of items together. And I actually bought all of these items, so I have lots of omelets on my way to my inbox. But I think it's a really good upgrade over the previous market that we had, and it was all based on your suggestions. So thank you. And I tried putting all of these onto the basket, but I got kind of scared, and I probably don't even have that much NCG anyway. So, but yeah, cool customs. Cool to see them be traded. Some other numbers that we wanted to share about purchasing and crafting. I think it's kind of cool that. So I checked, and we've created over 786,000 items. That's a lot. That's a lot of items. And it's also incredible because this was all done on chain with no gas fees. Like energy system and delays work. And I think our hypothesis to build a blockchain special around a single game, I think that's turning out to be really true. And I think these are numbers, these are crazy numbers. And something else, for example, we have 1,067,000 dungeons fought. This is also fully on chain with no gas fee. And you can kind of see that the number is growing rapidly as we approach, month after month. And this is like April, and it's not even the end of April, but like it's already been over 15% from previous month increase. So that's kind of cool. And lots of items being traded, also fully on chain with no gas fee. So that I think this is really cool as a decentralized game to have these types of metrics that like you guys are also creating in the market. And some other things about the updates, we have multi-snapshot download support, so the download has gotten a lot faster. And chain sync speed and network communication has gone up a lot. Frame drops have decreased with our updates. Launcher startup time has decreased. Timeout and RPC issues have you've probably seen it gone down a lot. And memory usage has also gone down, although we have a lot of work to do on that regard. So, we're still putting in a lot of engineering effort for this to become, on our way to the more mainstream audience. And you're also helping out with that. So with that in mind, we also kept our promise by open sourcing 9 Chronicles, but also releasing a whole set of documents with it. So we want people to contribute, and we're getting a lot of really cool and incredible contributions from the community, which will be shared just right after this. So thanks for an incredible 2021 so far. It's only April, and we have, especially like last quarter, we focused a lot on the engineering issues, but this quarter we have a lot of really exciting issues in terms of the protocol and the economy. So it's really cool to talk about that. So yeah, that would be shared a little bit later after the NFTs on Q2 roadmap. But I want to first roll over to the ecosystem projects with grants and NCIPs. Okay, yeah, I guess I wanted to reiterate that, yeah, you already know. So open source documentations are out, right? So we have people starting to build products and starting to build experiences on top of this. And we have source code guide, GraphQL API guide, so that you don't have to like build and write code in C#, but make requests on JavaScript and get data quickly and build whatever interface that you want on top. And then we also have a guide for Chronicles Unity project, where you can actually take, since the game itself is open source, you can check it out, and you can, like when you actually run it, you have the entire set of items open, and you can use that to record your stream or test out a build. It's a pretty cool way to try this out. Never been really tried with a professional quality game, but this is something that we're like we really believe in. But to focus on like how that matches up with the grant program. So the Chronicle, when you think of the Chronicle token economy, you can think of it as having 4 parts to it. One is like, basically we need some money to create the game, so we sold a part of the economy through private and public sale. It's relatively a small amount, but a large percent of it goes to the miners. But it also, we want it to go to the actual people who are like creating content or creating tools around Chronicles. So that's a huge part, and we want to enable that through grant program. So one of the projects that's supported by the grant program is 9C Bot by Feox. I'm sure if you're around Discord, you've seen this be used a lot from investors or people playing games or people mining. This is one of the most active tools being used right now, and this was in support of 9 through the grant program. And also, this is going to get a huge upgrade. I think this week. Feox said Sunday, but yeah, it's going to be a tip. It's going to become a tip bot. So we are going to put a balance on the Chronicles tip bot, and the community leads and like from our team will be able to tip each other. You will be also able to tip other players when they help you out, and then you'll be able to withdraw your balance. And this will be arriving very, very soon. I'm interested in adding more and more really cool features if Feox is also interested in working with it. But it's a really cool project. You should all check out in the Chronicles Discord. And also, we all know about the team CryptoChasm and the 9C Swarm Miner, the work that they've been doing. I know for a fact that there are actual mining farms running on this, where they're using like multiple Docker containers to run multiple Chronicle miners on the single machine. I'm sure like some people you can all get more efficient, but this is a piece of infrastructure that a lot of people are already using. And Team CryptoChasm has been very, very active on the stream answering questions, and so really cool project to have. But something that I'm really excited about is the full Cosmic Dashboard project that the team started working on. I think I'm getting some chat. Okay, never mind. This is not about that. So yeah, basically right now our Explorer is pretty slow because it's pulling data directly from the blockchain, which is without any kind of optimization right now. But so Team CryptoChasm wants to build a dashboard where you can do character selections, account overviews, and you can explore other people's data. Just like an obvious cool web app that really makes the data inside the blockchain really easy to access. And underneath we have a link there, and CryptoChasm also gave us a really, really awesome grant proposal, which we overviewed and we reviewed and took back and forth to make sure that we could build something that could be used by the whole community. So props to CryptoChasm as well, and really excited to see some of this work show up on Discord and so on. So, we have a lot of ecosystem projects that we want to work on. So, if you are interested in working on any part of this, come chat with us, or, join the ecosystem devs who are already working on projects together. Really cool way. Something else that's really cool, I think it's really cool, is the 9 Chronicles improvement proposals. We call them NCIPs. And, like in Ethereum or Bitcoin, for example, since it's the projects get decided on a decentralized fashion, how do people make suggestions and how does that get implemented? That keeping that part transparent but also collaborative is really important in getting these types of open project functions, open source projects function correctly. And so this is something that we hooked up for our own ecosystem. And so this is how it kind of works. So for example, we have lots of suggestions, right? And they're amazing. Like for example, we have a suggestion about a guild. Players, friends could join a guild together. Once they achieve a specific level, they could be a guild, visit guild option with a guild hall and shrines that could be upgraded. Cool stuff. But, from this, we can't directly go and start building projects, right? And also the community has multiple different ideas about how a guild could work, how this could function. So we want an even better tool so that these types of suggestions can become more concrete and something that we could start working on. So, when you put this into an NCIP format, so this was done by Jai and the Valhalla Guild, which they didn't invite me. Apparently, there's a Valhalla guild in 9 Chronicles, which with their own Discord thing, which is cool. But that guild suggestion becomes a full guild system that is fleshed out so that we can start collaborating on this idea together. So if you go to github.com/planetarium.ncips, we have 4 NCIPs live right now, and we were happy to receive a lot more. So I'm just gonna click this link and move over to the list of NCIPs. So this is our GitHub and NCIPs. So the first NCIP refers to the process, and it talks about like what are the different types of NCIPs, how do we do ideation and discussion, and how does the workflow work. This is like pretty crafty, but we wanted this to be the starting point where what belongs in a successful NCIP is properly spelled out. You need an abstract, you need to write down the motivation, you need to write the specification, and so forth. But I want to check out the second NCIP written mostly by Wobbs, and it's about arena competitive rework. So we know that arena needs a rework. We all know, yeah. And so how does it work? Without suggesting complete overhaul, the following proposal reworks the arena to make it more competitive by providing players strategic builds and motivation to stay at higher ranks. It talks about why the arena needs to be more fun and challenging, and talks about extra like rewards and like what arena improvements we should add, and talks and gives the rationale about that. It's pretty simple as its own, and we have one going around from Zhao about the guild system. Talks about how to, and it breaks up the guild system into multiple parts so that it can be done with a small set of specifications which can be implemented in the very early beginning. And we are going to work on that from there on, and expand the guild system to part 2, expand the guild system to part 3, and so on. So really cool to check it out. I'm sure a lot of you who are already on the stream, you're excited about the game as much as we are. And so if you have ideas to flesh out NCIPs, call any of the community leads or us. So, and even the first arena competitive rework ideas from this is already being drafted into our game design process. And we're going to actually share that in the Q2 roadmap later. So I'm going to go back to the slides, but yeah, thanks for the community leads and the team for cooking up this. I think the amount of NCIPs that we've been getting this month is really cool, and really want to see this idea open up to people just outside of the community leads. So yeah, feel free to start working on something and sending me drafts. Really happy to take a look. So yeah, that's it about the community stuff. I mean, I'm pretty excited about the next stream to talk about what we've done, what we will be doing in the next, couple months. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right. It's been around 20 minutes. Yeah, are we ready to do a giveaway? So again, we have a link up on our Discord. You can go to the giveaways channel to participate, and you should click both events for the legendary costume and the NCG event. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing. Wait, I think I might. Never mind. I think I should be able to do this. Discord. Pooh, could you pick out 2 winners for the 500 NCG? Yeah, Pooh said okay. So let's wait. Yeah, click the link. 441. It's going up now. $42. Okay, congratulations, Goatsy Lover. You won one 500 NCG. I'm sorry, it's not 5x 500 NCG, but let's roll one more. Oh, so we have a question on how to join giveaway. Yeah, click the click this, what do you call it, party pooper thing. Yeah, click the party pooper thing for both events. Then you can join the event. So Goatsy Lover, please. Okay, and the new winner is Xiao. Congratulations. Cool. Okay. So later send me your N9 Chronicles ID so that I can send you NCGs. I will remind them separately. But congratulations to the 2 winners. Oh, popper, not pooper. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna switch into the history of NFT stuff. Again, short plug, Edward leading the decentralized gaming workshop in Paris with real people. Like this is just like even like a year and a half ago, but I feel strange seeing people sit together without masks, like watching a stream. So yeah, really excited to have Edward join us and to give a short history of NFTs. Edward, you want to take over?
Sure. Let me see if I can share my screen here without it breaking. Ta-da! Does it work? Am I showing?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, going to try to full screen it. Cool. So that workshop in Paris was about a year ago, actually, and we had quite a few gaming teams there. That was around the FCC conference in early March last year, and we had a number of people drop by. Some people from Ubisoft. We had Zaya, of course, drop by. We had even one guy from Axie. and a few more. I actually forget all of the names, but it was fun. Also Spells of Genesis, the Everdream Soft guys. All of these names I actually just mentioned will be, funnily enough, featured in this presentation. Partly, it was quite nice that they attended, but they're also kind of part of the history of decentralized gaming, which was the previous stream, and also therefore the history of NFTs. So actually kind of, in some ways, quite a historical event. We had a lot of sort of famous teams there who are part of the history. So I thought that was quite a nice piece of luck, serendipity, shall we say. So agenda, I'll talk a little bit of what I think is like the prehistory of NFTs. I'm not going to go into great detail because we could argue about whether pebbles or stones or, you know, fungible kind of tokens of the past, or whether, you know, clay tablets should somehow be NFTs or whatever. I'm not going to go that far back or give like this full history of currency, obviously not. And then talk about like the early efforts, things that people may not know are potentially NFTs that I think should be considered as candidates of like the earliest incarnations of NFTs. And then obviously a little bit of contemporary efforts. And I think that will transition probably into NFTs within 9 Chronicles. And I think Kijun, you or GC is going to be talking about that afterwards. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
So a little prehistory. So my view of NFTs is that I think NFTs are most useful in gaming, which is part of the reason that I'm here and, you know, helping, you know, 9 Chronicles. You know, I believe in gaming, particularly decentralized gaming. But before we had decentralized games, everyone knows we have these online MMOs. You know, they're centralized, but in my view, the items in every MMO could essentially be unique items, even if 2 swords look the exact same. Like my hands look pretty similar, and essentially they're the same, except, you know, mirror images. A sword in a computer game could really be an NFT, even if the front end doesn't show it as an NFT, which is kind of how 9 Chronicles is. You have 2 swords that look exactly the same, but actually on the chain, they're 2 separate unique items. You know, they're completely distinguishable from each other. And I think in an old MMO, that's really the same. So for me, these are kind of like the pre-NFTs. You know, they are kind of fungible, but they also have this aspect that you could distinguish one from the other. So if there was item history, you could make them truly, truly unique. We just didn't see that in too many MMOs, but there are instances where some items were created by like a famous crafter, and therefore they have some kind of piece of history attached to the item, such as, you know, Star Wars Galaxies way back in the early 2000s, and probably more since. Anyhow, that's just to give you a bit of a flavor for where I think the idea of NFTs came from. This is going to be now going on to the early efforts. So one of the first decentralized projects, this was basically the first altcoin, so the first blockchain or the first cryptocurrency after Bitcoin was Namecoin, which was used for a decentralized DNS. So, you know, just like, you know, Google.com, you know, that's obviously a domain name, but that's mostly centralized. There's a little bit of decentralization in there, but it's really controlled by pretty big organizations. But the idea of Namecoin was to go better to make it decentralized. Now, the interesting thing about Namecoin is that each of the domain names, each of the names essentially are unique. So this name, which is D domain, D/Bitcoin, was the first ever potentially NFT in the blockchain space, which was first bought in April 2011. The only thing here is that these were not exactly intended to be tradable. I don't know how easy it is to trade them now, but clearly there's this idea of uniqueness and the unique token. So even if you can't trade it, it's still a unique token, but we could debate whether it's an NFT or not. Shortly after this is the idea of colored coins. So I've taken some of these ideas actually from Andrew's blog. So Andrew Steinwold, he writes a lot about NFTs, and he writes obviously here a good blog about the history of NFTs. He thinks that the earliest mention of colored coins was March 2012 for this idea about colored Bitcoin. And the idea is to have things like property or coupons or whatever somehow it's actually, I think in this idea, it was within the metadata of Bitcoin. That's how I expect it to work. That's how Namecoin works. In the metadata of the transaction, you have some mention of like some sort of crypto asset. And so in my view, Namecoin was a type of colored coin, even if that phrase came afterwards. These are a way to sort of point to unique assets, unique, say, crypto assets. And so for me, these are like this is like the groundwork of NFTs. And I think at this point, people are talking about how to make them tradable. Another, I mentioned this before, one of the first, maybe even the first decentralized game was Hunter Coin. And within there was both fungible tokens, but then there was items which were non-fungible tokens. A little bit kind of under the radar, not super well known, but it's also maybe even the first gaming NFT potentially, and that was launched in February 2014. Moving quickly on, Spells of Genesis. I mentioned that this team here from Everdreamsoft, they were at this conference in Paris, as was the Hunter Coin team, who are now Zaya, and this was probably the first trading card game on Counterparty, and the team later launched onto Ethereum. So they have a reasonable claim on one of the earliest NFTs or NFT deployments, and I believe these are tradable and still technically tradable now. So definitely an interesting piece of history, and I think at this point we are definitely seeing something which is definitely an NFT, even if it's not on Ethereum. Obviously, the first that we know of on Ethereum is CryptoPunks. They've come here. I've got this tweet where one CryptoPunk sold for $136 million, which $136,000. My apologies, which is still pretty crazy for me. I don't know how people could spend this, but they do. And this was on Ethereum, but it's pre the 721 standard, which I'm about to mention. Another early one is Mooncats that you probably heard about. There was like a Mooncats rescue recently. Again, I think some of them have also reached crazy prices. I don't quite remember. This was ever so slightly later than CryptoPunks. Then we have what I call the contemporary efforts, or like the modern era, whatever you want to call it, of NFTs. So one of the very first ones that everyone knows of, that they've heard about for sure, is CryptoKitties. It's possibly still the most famous NFT, maybe not now, but for a long time it was, and it was the most famous blockchain game, even though it isn't the first blockchain game, but some people kind of erroneously think that it is. But it is definitely the first that I know of, the first use of the 721 standard, and I believe they helped to write this standard, which is part of Ethereum. You probably know this now, and I think like the most expensive CryptoKitty was well over $100,000. I think even several have sold for that, which again for me is kind of crazy, but there you go. People are willing to pay that. Moving on into 2018, we have the launch of Axie Infinity. One of the reasons I mention that now is that I think Axie Infinity is possibly the most popular blockchain game right now, and I think it kind of deserves its place in this kind of recounting of NFT history and of a little bit of gaming history. And I don't know what the most expensive Axie is. I guess it's probably something kind of crazy, but you can see here these are, as I understand it, these are pretty low-level cheap Axies, or like beginner Axies, and they're starting at almost $200 each. And I think if you want to play the game, you need 3 Axies. Someone can probably tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I may not remember exactly, but if you want to get started with the game, you need something like just a bit shy of $600 to get started with Axie Infinity, which it's a high barrier. These NFTs are getting expensive, and it brings the barrier of entry up. Of course, you may earn money, which is nice. So that's kind of the aspect of, if you want to spend $600, then maybe you can earn more money in the future. But it's still it's an interesting thing to reflect on and to think. What does this mean if the barrier to entry gets so high? Does that mean that regular gamers can't come and play? And then lastly, I want to just briefly mention, of course, Chronicles. We released in 2020 there in October. And one thing that I don't think people know is that even though we run our own chain, so we're not on Ethereum, we actually have we've NFTized every item. Every item is essentially unique, even if they look the same in the UI, as I mentioned before, like in an MMO. Every item is actually unique, and so they are genuinely NFTs, because we can say, this is technically non-fungible with another one. And at some point, we would like to have item history, which would be a clearer case for saying that these are definitely NFTs, and we're not just kind of playing funny games in the background or something. I think that's pretty much. Oh no, of course, I wanted to mention the Beeples every day. it's not gaming, but I think everyone's seen this probably now, and it's the most expensive NFT that we've seen so far for $69 million. Yeah, I don't know. It's something else. I kind of don't get it. I mean, I know the guy's been working hard, and that's cool. So respect for being an artist and doing this for like 14 years and every day a new one. But this was bought by some big investment DAO essentially. So it wasn't one person, but a group of people. And it's an interesting play on NFTs. I think that's my very last slide I wanted to say on NFTs. Thanks.
Cool.
Let me see if I can stop sharing. Or you've taken it. Cool.
Yeah. So thanks for ending on a high note. Now I have to explain how Chronicle NFT will moon higher than Beeple, but cool stuff. Yeah. No. So I think something that I want to talk a little bit about, and this part will be pretty short, but is NFT on a decentralized game any different? Like, how could it matter? How can it matter? And I think Edward did say that. Let me see. Who is pinned right now? Am I pinned? Okay. But it is. Edward did say that Nine Chronicles, like everything is an NFT, but it doesn't feel like it, somehow. But for example, yeah, all these necklaces are NFT. It's crafted by a person, and it goes on the market, and you can trade it on different prices, and it has different stats. It's unique. This is also unique. Well, the food material, this is also unique. But these. So I think full customs, they're a little bit special in that these customs have a very set number of users. For example, right now it has. So the Valkyrie has only 80 copies in existence, and so is the Hela, so is the Lion of Dawn, and these mythical costumes, they're expensive, but only 9 of them are in existence. And I think like even our company has one. Like we have one edition out of 9, but even that doesn't seem to mean as much as what what people are attaching to NFTs. So like why is that? I think that was one of the questions that I asked while creating this. So they're all NFTs by definition. So let's say I have a sword on the left. It has 103 attack, and someone put it up for 200 NCGs. Pretty expensive. But on the other hand, let's say I craft a sword, and another sword comes out with 2 more attack points. I could maybe put it up for 200 NCGs or 205 NCGs, but like 2000 NCGs, nah, probably not, right? Like it's probably worth around the same value, even though these are like by, this is unique by definition, but it's not really unique, is what I want to say. Is like there's a different stat, but it doesn't feel unique. It's not just data that matters, but how the piece is perceived. So let's say I'm gonna give another example. Let's say, same attack value, but the item is named Fenrir Slayer, and this is the sword that someone used to bring down Fenrir for the first time. Basically, it's the Fenrir first kill sword, and then something changes. Like it has the same value, and it has the same attack value, but it suddenly becomes something that someone might collect, and the value, how much is this worth, is very much up on the air, which was different from this. If you have a little bit of attack increase, yeah, maybe you want to pay 5 more gold. That's cool. But when you have something that's unique, then how much is something worth? And some people are going crazy about, like people not worth $68 million, but someone bought it for $68 million. So, that is, I guess, how much it is worth right now. So, I think what I want to stress out from Nine Chronicles, and we, JCI, the team talked about what we wanted to do here, was I think when it's a decentralized game, we have opportunity to blend in history of Nine Chronicles as a collectible. So basically, you have an item that has a proof of its uniqueness, not by, like the company made 80 copies of Fenrir Slayer and you have one of them. That's kind of cool, but not as cool as, the first of 80 swords to slay Fenrir. Like the history itself is embedded into the game with the proof of that comes from a blockchain. So that's kind of cool. I think that's really cool, actually. And for example, achievements, arena kills, monster slain. We're thinking about adding properties when you have kills in the arena or monsters in the slain. So it actually improves the sword, the number of battles it goes through. So you basically imbue it with the history of usage. And this is something that we're thinking about. But I think it's also kind of interesting where, the same item can become unique, but because someone else created it. If there's a sword that I created versus if there's a sword that Elon created, it, like, Elon can sell anything, right, for like millions of dollars. So I think, but why? I think that's the real question around, how people perceive NFTs and the uniqueness. But we can also do cross collaboration with maybe similar looks, but items coming from different game with a different history. So this is all a really cool concept that we are going to try to incorporate into our games so that, if NFT is one of a kind, history, achievement, creator, cross collaboration, these are all backed on a perpetual database that stores data from the beginning of Chronicle time. So it's a proof, why is this unique? I'll go and look at, block number, blah, blah, blah. We have this item doing that. And when we can make that transparent and like better searchable, I think it'll start carrying some really interesting value. So basically, I want to say, so as a fully decentralized game, we want to make NFTs matter in ways different from just NFTs being created and sold by companies. And we may consider things like land or other stuff in the future, but I think right now our focus is to really make items matter a lot more, build history into items and make them unique by pulling these features in. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Cool. Okay, I guess it's the I forgot. I guess it's time for another 2 giveaways. Yeah, Pooh, my assistant, please can you pick out two more winners? Wait 1 second. I'm gonna go. Wait, let's give like 1 more second for people to join the giveaway. So again, Discord giveaways, the channel. You can click on the party popper in the both events, and then yeah, join the giveaway. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I don't think the number is going up now. I feel like I have an AI. after I saw the comment, I can't help but to think that Pooh is my AI. But cool. Okay, Nom and Radix, awesome. Please send me your Chronicle ID so that I can send you NCGs right after the stream. And I'm gonna go back and continue on with the presentation. So this is the final part. Thanks for waiting. It's already been like 45 minutes. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but I think this is the part that you've all been waiting for. So what were we focusing on? So this is from our stream from before. I think it was in February, right? I think it was in February. But we said, hey, like we're gonna focus this quarter about onboarding new users because right now it's like very difficult to start, and then we're gonna make sure that market has a much better UI user experience, and then we're gonna make the APIs, and then we're gonna open source Chronicles, and then we're gonna release staking, and then we're gonna release more content. This is what we said we were going to focus on, and and I think we've delivered onboarding new users. We've made a lot of investment into making the chain sync faster, making it reduce its reduce errors. And so I think we made a lot of improvement there. We obviously did the whole market UX overhaul. You've seen it in the presentation before, and we've did open sourcing and API for 9 Chronicles. Staking hasn't arrived yet. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and then more content. I think we've been pretty slow on this front, and I actually want to apologize a bit for making you guys hang on. I think we have more content arriving very, very soon, but this is something that we're trying to focus on more as we did the really difficult part of initial onboarding and market UX improvement. But what are we focusing on for Q2? And I think like one statement that I want to share is that we want to share 9 Chronicles protocol economy. And what is that? I think it's a really interesting question. What are we sharing? And the like protocol economy is this like lingo that people have about the new like beyond corporations. You have protocols. Like, well, what is that? And basically, like one way to think about it is that you have players, builders, marketers, investors, creators, and also miners. Like in a game, for example, let's say this is not 9 Chronicles, but you have a different kind of game. But even for that game's success, you need for example, like people playing this on YouTube, or you have users buying it, you have users making bug requests, and these are all part of the economy that makes a game successful. And we have a lot of that. So how do we share 9 Chronicles economy with them is like a key part of our question into making 9 Chronicles special and competitive. So first thing that we want to focus on is focusing on onboarding and play to earn. I think play to earn had a bad rep. It's about going and earning NCGs and then dumping it or selling it. People just don't care. People just not caring about the gameplay, but coming in to join. But I think it's actually hits on a really cool equation where we want more players. We need more players. We want more players to make this a really, really healthy and vibrant ecosystem. And so they should also get reward for playing the game. And we, like if you are from a few months ago, we had this recruiter friend program running, which was like wildly successful, brought 1,000 players in, and we would have like tweets that go out, retweeted 1,000 times. And so this types of earning economy is also very effective in luring users. But we took it down because it was like not being maintained very well. So now we're actually working on a new set of onboarding tools, which is actually launching very soon. So this is just a markup of the product, but basically what you can do here is you can earn NCG by completing, it's a web application, and you can earn NCG by completing in-game objectives, such as like you answer a quiz, that's not an in-game objective, but you create an item, you get to level 20, you slay a certain beast, you trade on the market. So these are in-game objectives that would let you earn NCGs. And obviously you can also earn by inviting friends and also learning more about the games or spreading news. So this is all integrated into this like one nice interface. Something also interesting is that we built in this like little bit of a gamification mechanic where we can't give infinite number of NCGs out because we don't have an infinite number of NCGs. We just have a percentage of it marked on our distribution, right? So we have that baked inside we have that stashed inside. And the earlier you join, the more bonuses you earn, because when that starts to deplete, then the actions will be earning less and less and less. So you can do that and then cash out in NCG, buy stuff on the market, cool stuff. So, JC is working on this, and it's actually, I think the base development is almost finished, but it's going to go through some QR, and it'll be launching in early May. So I think it's a part of how we want to share the 9 Chronicles economy together with the users. And secondly, the staking part, we've talked about it. What is staking? People have invested, or people are holders of NCGs, or people have created 9 Chronicles content and they earn NCG from that. There's a way to invest and share protocol economy. So instead of us selling items to users directly, you stake to create, craft, earn items that can be shared in the market. So we want that to be kind of integrated with in-game content. So which is, um, I mean, obviously, if you play and invest a lot, then you should be able to get to the in-game content. But also, investors, if they wanted to, can earn by crafting in-game content in some ways. Like this will not be game breaking, like obviously, but we want to incentivize people to hold NCGs and to put that into use by crafting hourglasses and NCGs. This is all part of sharing the game economy with people who want to participate as an investor. So this is also, so we're this is in active development. It's been for a while, and this is also targeting May. More details will be shared in upcoming weeks with in-depth material. So I think we talked about the two things that are about sharing Nine Chronicles product economy, but obviously, content and crafting and ranking and stuff like that. This is all also in works. So World 5, apologies for how late it's been. I think some of the work has been done for quite a long time, and we shared early development screens from months ago. But actually, I think the first balance sheet is completed, I think, today, and the first stages we're going to check if this runs, but arriving late April, early May, very soon. And we want to also present the full world in the second quarter with new item unlocks and consumables. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But also in touch with the NCG updates, not NCG, NFT updates. Like we want to also do a crafting update overhaul. I think one of the issue was that items look and feel kind of same, and I think we wanted to increase randomness so that you can have stats, but also imbue randomized skills at a very low percentage, so that you can have a item that's very quite unique. We're also discussing lowering NCG requirements, but having higher material requirements for some of the crafting recipes, so that you can work your way towards it instead of having to always acquire NCG to craft them. So it's always a matter of time or NCG, not without blocking people who just don't buy NCG from entering into the game. And then I think we wanted to upgrade mechanism update. Okay, so right now we have a bunch of fees for merging two items together. We're discussing lowering fees with some chance of failure, but I think this can be really contentious for people who have already crafted the item. So we'd love to hear some feedback, whether this will allow new players to join in, or if you think this is a worst decision ever made, come and talk to us. And then, yeah, pizza will be introduced because we had a questionnaire on Twitter like several months ago about what items you want, and people said they wanted pizza consumables. So I think we're working on that. So this is all. This update is targeting Q2. Ranking diversification. So ranking based on CP, ranking based on individual gear, ranking based on levels, ranking based on the speed of content unlocking, ranking based on market activities, ranking based on how many items you forged. This will be introduced, I think, in May. We're working towards that. Finally, Arena Rework, it's a stretch update. I don't know if this will make it, but we've all agreed that Arena right now needs a rework, more competitive rework. So, seasonal, like we want to do seasonal resets with seasonal rework, and this will be built in at some point. I don't know if this is coming in Q2, but and then we want to have tiered ranks. And I think these are two major updates suggested by WOPS is NCIP 2. You should go, people should go and read it. I think it's a really cool piece of document. But decrease ELO on defense. Right now, you can't bring down someone. You basically you earn like similar amount of ELO when you attack someone, but this is a way to rework the rank by attacking someone who shouldn't be up there, and then also rebalancing damage. I think the top tier player is just like it's one hit KO mostly, so rebalancing that, and then also to reflect other suggestions from the NCIP2. We want to work on it this quarter, but I think it could be a stretch. So there it is. So back to that. Just kind of to end this. What are we focusing on Q2? We want to share Chronicle economy with player builders, marketers, investors, creator miners. Like if you have suggestions, we want to share the economy. This is like one of the #1 priorities. We have a couple other interesting ideas on how to do this. So, we're looking forward to this and working also on the content and all these updates. And then I have some interesting screenshots that I'm going to share, but not really comment about. There are some monsters here, and then there are some screenshots. Fun stuff. But if you want to know more about the 2021 roadmap, watch the stream #1, bit.ly 9C stream 1. We want to get to a wider audience this year. So this is what we're going to work on. I think, is that it? Oh, awesome. That's it. Cool. So let's do some AMAs. I am going to switch over to the list of questions and then zoom in. I'm gonna see if I can pin someone else, not me. I'll pin
D-Dot.
Yeah, I'll pin D-Dots. He wants to dance. Cool. All right. I'm just catching up on the chat, and there are lots of pizzas. I'm gonna type pizza. Sure. 1 second. Cool. Okay. I'm curious if the blockchain is we have 7 questions. Feel free to list more questions on the chat or the AMA channel. I'm going to start reading from the top. There are only 8 questions here, so hopefully we can get through it pretty quickly. I'm curious if the blockchain is safe from cheaters or hackers or other security flaws. Yes, the chain is secure. Your private key may not be. So the chain itself, if the information goes in, it should be verified by other nodes on the network too, right? So the data itself is quite secure, but if your private key, someone else gets access to it, they basically have the whole thing, and there's no way for us to recover your information because we don't own your account. So there's some nuance here. There's never really a perfect security provided by the chain, but in a practical sense, it's more than sufficient. Should a private problem arise, it is possible for the community to roll back or go to a specific block to answer any huge problems. Any thought to introducing an in-game auction house system? Marketplace is being reworked. I think this is a good idea. We're not working on this immediately, but there's a wink wink. You can start on NCIP, and usually when NCIPs are created, we take a deeper look into it because we want to make sure that you have incentives to do such a thing. On POS, what are the plans and how this will be implemented within IC? It isn't specified yet. Not everything has been worked out, but we are considering adopting PBFT style, which is a popular mechanism used by, for example, Tendermint Cosmos, or some new experimental type that will merge our node infrastructure. So we'll announce more once we have better plans for it. Right now it's still kind of in the research stage. Is there a way to know how many coins have been supplied in total and how many have been frozen? It doesn't have any. We don't have a specific API for that, but the Genesis block. So there's a distribution channel. There's a distribution table in the Genesis block, and you can calculate total supply based on this data. But also, you can go to wiki.9chronicles.com and look at the NCG page, and it has basically the unlock schedule and everything, so you can calculate it. I think actually for the trading, 8% tax trading, can someone use the NCG bot to just pull that up on our like early access channel or something? It's very accessible. So I think someone will just pull that up. Fifth question: can we know how many NCGs individual devs have? That's a very good question. Is it a good question? I don't know, but yeah, no, it's a very valid question. And I mean, obviously, like I'm not gonna say like this person owns this much, that person owns that much, but it's very decentralized. So our private sale had only 20K USD max investment, and like even if you wanted to invest, like for example, $100,000 or $300,000 to invest on NCG, you couldn't, because we wanted to make sure that Nine Chronicles network had a really good distribution of NCGs, not just being controlled by a single holder. So even us, even the devs, we don't have. So none of us right now got NCG for free. We also invested into the private round and public sale round at our own volition. And the max investment was 20K USD. And I think the rate was around $1 for 150 NCG. But this was like way early. This was even before the game out. So they were taking lots of chances. So I think even the most number of NCGs that have is around that number. And yeah, if you have any more specific questions around that, let us know. But I just wanted to make sure that through the chart, the private sale and Genesis public sale is only 5% of the whole thing, and over 50% is the mining reward and content reward going directly to the player. Yeah. Can someone explain how authentication works via GraphQL without a private key? Currently, authentication is performed through the launcher login event. So the node is executed first without a key. And when the launcher is logged in, the private key is delivered to via inter-process communication. So the private key, I think for this question, let's have a further discussion on the dev channel. If you have any specific questions about how this might work. We're also trying to solve some user experience problems with that. I think this is the question asked by Yoink Gaming. What are some long-term marketing plans for Nine Chronicles? So I think so for the long term, what's really important is that the game needs to be accessible by more users. That's like, we want to be able to hit the mainstream with the content that we've created. And I think it's important to have mobile and like POS, which basically makes the blocks much faster to execute. When that is ready, then players can, play Nine Chronicles just like playing any other idle game. And then we will prepare for the official launch of Nine Chronicles with some marketing partnerships and publishing companies around the launch. So, I think right now when we spend the marketing dollars, it doesn't quite translate into users that easily, because it is pretty difficult to get started. but we want to actually remove that huddle and then start putting some serious marketing around 9 Chronicles. Yep. So there are some questions from the chat. I want to answer. Will the rankings start from introduction or will it incorporate actions up to that point? I think it will include, but also some rankings will be reset from time to time. POS when? Hopefully around Q4, but we'll have to kind of see after this month. Do we have special sales of NCG? Not at the moment. I think you'll have to acquire NCG directly from the trading channel in the Discord. Will it be set to return NCG? Okay, I think final question. I see that staking will give items, but will it ever be set to return NCG instead of in addition also? Yeah, so we are also debating a bit about, I think we want to make staking just one of a kind where it can return, when it moves to POS, it can also return NCGs. But right now, as a POW chain, we are not planning on returning NCG for staking. Okay, cool. Stop. New pin. Okay, I'm gonna. So I think we're ready for the final two giveaways. Let me just share the screen for that. So Pooh said, I've noticed some new accounts being created just to join the giveaway. I'll re-roll. Yeah. Wait, let me actually just share my desktop instead. So just final shout out. There's one NCG bundle and one of 80 legendary Valkyrie costume giving away. So, check out our Discord, click the links, and we will pick out. So yeah, let's go and pick out the final 500 NCG. Okay, the new winner, the last winner is Rich Shiga. Congratulations. Yeah, please send me your NCID so that I can send you NCGs right after. And yeah, let's do the final Valkyrie costume. Okay, congratulations, MI Zer. You won the legendary Valkyrie costume. And yeah, I can send you the redeem code directly, so you don't have to send me your NCID address. But for the 5 winners, yeah, please send me so that I can take care of you guys. Cool. Wow, I wanted to keep this short, kind of, but it's already been like 70 minutes, so my voice is kind of running out. But thanks for sticking through. Yeah, we have like 40 watchers right now, and I think. Oh, I didn't notice what was behind Plafina's screen, but that's cool. Cool. All right. Thanks for joining the stream. I mean, obviously, we have lots of really exciting updates just this quarter and also beyond this quarter. So, yeah, stick around, have fun, and we'll see you in the next stream soon. All right. Thanks for joining us.